Okay, this is Dallas Santana with SpaceBlue. We're going to get started now about this very special day today. Today is special. It's a special day, no doubt, 11/11 here, and also the day that Bitcoin has set a world record again. So there's a lot of special things about this day that are happening. And so share it with your friends, invite them to participate, and learn about some amazing things that we've been working on literally for many, many months, working very hard together as a team and with our collaborators and creators and our space team to make some really big announcements and milestones tonight. So we have some special people that made history in space, and I invited them to come on to the call. They are one of just 222 human beings out of the 8 billion people that live on the Earth today, and the 16 billion people in humanity that literally have their art projects on the moon. They're very special people. And no matter what they're doing in their life right now, I believe after you've tuned into our X Spaces tonight, you're going to understand why these people are literally history makers and will go down in history.
For everyone out there, I'm Brandi. I am a business strategist. I focus on transformation in business and also in humans and the economy. And so the projects that I support, such as SpaceBlue and LunaPrise and so many other NFT projects that could make a difference in the world with artists, creator economy. Wow, it's definitely been a ride, and it's just getting started. So a little bit about what's happening. I brought an idea that we could do partnerships that would expand the marketplace, and today we'll talk a little bit about that. Everyone who showed up tonight is a part of something that is making history, as Dallas has said. And it's time. The time is now. We're creating a whole entire world that's never been seen before. In February, I believe it was, we went to the moon. We gathered at a gala in Cape Canaveral. We brought artists who were recognized and not recognized. We had intellectual property that were in the billions. And, we just created something out of nowhere that is meaningful and will impact the rest of the world, including a legacy after, far, far, far after, when we're gone. So I'll hand the mic over. There's much to say about what we're going to introduce as our partnerships. We have some big announcements happening.
When you look in the news right now today, all over the world, and one of them is Elon Musk and his SpaceX company. And Elon's really excited. I don't want to get into politics. I'm not into that at all. I'm into what our future can be and the great things that can be for all of us. And you look at Elon, and he's very happy right now because he has promised that we will land humanity on Mars in the next 2 years. He will get the very first space missions there. And in the next few years, not only are we opening up the cryptocurrency industry and expanding it, and Bitcoin in particular, but we're also expanding the space program. This is something that actually intersects with a lot of people that are here tonight. So expect incredible things to happen. There's no accident that Bitcoin is literally going to the moon. The first time I ever remember a world leader literally at the Bitcoin conference stepped up on the stage. They were running for president. And they said, we're going to put Bitcoin on the moon and we're going to go to Mars. And we are literally the people that are literally involved in those dreams ourselves. And me. But, a lot of people have contributed to the success. If you're new for the very first time, if you look up at the moon right now tonight, at the south pole of the moon, I would say about 7 o'clock, at the 7 o'clock mark on the moon, that is where a museum rested. On February 22nd, 2024, 222 creators from around the world, some of them living, some of them spanning the past 30,000 years of art history, landed their imagination and their stories and their art history on the moon. Now, this process of where this is all going is so important. That's why today is such a historical day for us in this mission, because we're unveiling the next quantum steps that this mission is going to take. You know, a lot of people that know me know that I come from an art history family. My grandfather and grandmother set a record at the top auction house in Hong Kong, Asia. And they held that record for many, many years, up until, I believe, the year 2018. They had the #1 art sale in history. I was raised in a family of art history makers. My great-great-grandmother, I just discovered, has a New York Times article that was published about her. She has not been living for about 30 years, and she just had her own article published. I'll post it on X so everybody can see. The reason why I want to post about my great-grandmother is because I want you guys that are part of the space mission to understand that's you and you don't know it yet. You see, the article about my great-grandmother explains that she was at a pivotal time in the world of art history, and she got involved with some very significant things. And she's not living today. She doesn't realize that she created a legacy, a historical legacy. She's now studied in universities. This is incredible that my great-grandmother is studied in universities. We've created the most sophisticated and advanced space art provenance in the history of the world. And what the provenance is essentially the documentation, the proof of your story, of your narrative. Because what's going to happen, you have to imagine in the future, 20, 30 years from now, people are going to say, but did this really happen? Kelly Max, were you really there? Were you really involved? And we're going to be able to prove that because we're going to have the photo evidence, we're going to have the video evidence, we're going to have the metadata evidence, and we're going to have the evidence that's also inscribed on our favorite platform in the world, Bitcoin. So this is where we're going today. We call this inscribing LunaPrise. And so what happens today is that we begin the process of inscribing the 222 artists that landed on the moon onto the Bitcoin network. I mean, how cool is this? And all of the records that we have that we consider to be so important. What is the name of this NASA mission? What is the SpaceX Falcon rocket? Who was the head of SpaceX? Who headed up SpaceBlue and who headed up Galactic Legacy Labs? All of this information is about to be inscribed forever in the world. We are the first in the history of the world to do this. No one has ever sent a space mission with artwork into a museum off the Earth and put it onto another planetary body, and then also put it permanently into a record that will last forever. We're the first ones to do that. So this is a big deal as well. We have collectors that have gone in to find out who these artists are. I don't know if you know this, but there's at least $6 billion in market cap that has been created with the SpaceBlue art projects so far. Maybe you don't know about it because you're not one of them. Okay? Maybe you didn't get informed about it. Maybe you don't know about these projects that have already been sold and launched and already been released to the world. But there's over $6 billion in market cap that has been created, and every single project that SpaceBlue has steered along has been sold out completely to collectors. The collectors understand provenance. I've got a message the other day from one of our incredible collectors that said, Dallas, what you guys are doing, I hope people understand, and this is a collector saying it, I hope they understand what you guys are doing, because we've created the most sophisticated art provenance in the history of the world, because we're the first time to take a museum and put the archives of those details onto the Bitcoin network and to put it into the moon. Why the moon? The moon has been determined by the scientific community to be the place where the longevity of archives will survive the longest in all the solar system. So we're not going to put a museum on Mars. We're not going to put a museum on Venus. We're not going to put a museum on Pluto. It's going to go on the moon. And that's exactly what we did. And we are the first. And now, even though it's only been months, we're the oldest. We will always be the oldest. And we will always be the first. And we will always be the one that had the most advanced tools to document and archive what we're doing. So when people go extract what's happened in the Egyptian pyramids, I believe that in the future, people will unearth, or on Lunar, if you would, what's actually happened and realize that this was a really significant part of history. Now, I talked to some really smart people in the art history world, university academia, art advisors, auction houses, metaverse advisors, top media people. I was interviewed myself personally by Billboard magazine literally for hours. And they've all told me the same thing. This is the greatest and most game-changing art project in history. You might not feel it yet, just like my great-grandmother didn't feel that she didn't realize she was going to be written up in the New York Times years later and be studied by universities. But I tell you, what we're going to do is going to allow everybody who's an artist in this program to have a legacy that's going to last a long time. So this is a very, very sentimental day for me, and a very special day, because what happens, and this is why we're all gathered here today, what happens today is that we inscribe the names of the 222 humans that span over 30,000 years. 16 billion humans have lived on this earth, including the ones living today, and the 222 that are the first to take our culture and put it into a permanent depository, into a museum off the earth. And then furthermore, what we're doing is we're also sending the records. Our advisors have come to us. They told us the top universities that we should collaborate with at first. You see, Harvard University, which both my uncles and my grandfather graduated from in art, by the way, and went on to become very successful artists. No accident, no coincidence there. Harvard University has something called the Harvard Archives. We are submitting the LunaPrise records there. We're also submitting it to the Berklee School of Music. We're submitting it to the Grammy Museum. We're submitting it so that they can store these important records and have their students study this for many, many thousands and thousands of years. So we've identified the top schools that have the academic credentials of studying art history. We have started our collaborations with these universities. We've been getting phone calls from them. They want to know what's up on the moon. Everybody wants to know what's up on the moon. And, you know, that leads me to the next part of this conversation. Besides the universities, the academics, besides having a book that will come out in April, 400 pages listing all of the artists that were participating in this mission, and that book will go into distribution in libraries all over the world, making the history for all of you artists. The other thing that we realized years ago, Brandi and I realized, is we need a metaverse. We need a way that people can see what it is that we put up on the moon. So I'm so excited to tell you that we have found the right partners to work with in this area. But Brandi, you can talk about what is about to be unveiled this month with the Metaverse projects that we're working with this incredible team from Europe and Dubai and from all over the world. So you want to shed some light on that, Brandi?
Absolutely. Thank you. So we have, we're in the creators economy, and we know that we do collaboration in order to expand this marketplace. And we have created, and it's taken some time to find the right team. As you know, if you're in this world, not every developer or individual is equal in the way that they believe about the future, but also design like they're in the future and the now, and just activate. And great team members come only once in a lifetime, and we found them. Farzam Kamalabadi is not only an artist who will be on the next moon mission. He is a ambassador for great change. He is a humanitarian, and he has been around the world allowing from China to have a Silk Road rise up out of poverty, out of the depths of human decay. And he said, I am going to create a mission, and it will be through my art, the calligraphy of 3 different languages, in order to inspire peace, prosperity, and humanity to believe in the next world. And so I've been so blessed to be able to watch him for about 4 years. I met Dallas about 4.5 years ago, and one of our dear friends actually introduced us, Jen Yu, who's no longer with us. The mission that we are all seeing, and why we're seeing it is to make this happen with the masters of our time. And I do believe that Farzam Kamalabadi, who is now in the Rise of Africa movement, to help with education and art education and continue to grow economies that are prosperity driven. And so it's just an honor. So I met Farzam in Dubai as I was speaking on impact and peer-to-peer learning and earning initiatives. And I just saw him. You know, when you have that moment, you see somebody and you see the light around them and you go, okay, I don't know what it is, but today is the day. And it took about 4 years for us to figure it out. I was introduced at a Web3 conference, which we had in Dubai, and I had him speak. I had Brock Pierce come and hold the artwork. I had Michael Turpin come and talk about the initiatives that we're doing. By the way, Michael Turpin has a book that's out. I'll share that in just a moment. The key that I'm sharing is I found the development company, and they are a part of Farzam's movement. And so I want to introduce what we're here to announce today on 11/11, which is the Future Catalyst Holding Group, who is the Future Studio and Future Catalyst Solutions, who are designing the future multiverse. So I say it because we've heard Metaverse, but we've never seen Metaverse like this. Our vision for Metaverse is not to come in and just purchase artwork. It is to create solutions for real change. And those solutions are involved on real world assets, Bitcoin backed, real world assets that are tokenized, that we're talking about going to the moon. And this is structuring a new education for people, not only collectors, but for people to experience what it means to go to space. And the collectors, they get the benefits. Why? Because, well, they're supporting a new economy that is moving up and also supplying welfare to people long term. So I want to congratulate us all, right, Dallas? So we've been behind the scenes signing contracts, going through the whole process of new partnerships, and this is a hyper realistic 3D VR blockchain based multiverse that, you know, we'll have Launchpad, we'll have a marketplace called the Future Multiverse, and SpaceBlue, LunaPrise, will have their gallery where everyone can come and see the art from all the art that has been brought to the moon. So I'm excited to be here to share this news. It's a huge opportunity for artists to be supported, not only because their art is going to be there and the longevity of it, but because they have a partnership with us where we get to support them, be able to announce and host events inside our gallery, be able to have DJs and special events, and also get to leave a legacy. So thank you so much. I don't know if the team is here.
All right. All right. So I'll make sure we get Simon invited up here to the front.
The Future Multiverse is a multidimensional ecosystem with the purpose to catalyze the destiny of humanity, creating the breakthrough to a new, regenerative, meaningful, and inspiring future for everyone. Leveraging the power of most advanced technologies as well as key international partnerships with gravitating influence in over 150 countries, the Future Multiverse empowers everyone to accelerate the reverse engineering of their bold future vision into reality. With our advanced tools, including our distributed hyperrealistic 3D and VR Future Multiverse and our Future Trends Expo, F-Expo, built by our in-house design production studios, Future Studios, our Web4, AI, and blockchain-based accelerator platform, including our Launchpad and Marketplace, as well as new computing and energy systems and more, together with the methodologies, systems, and modeling amplified by the outstanding global influence, resources, and leadership of Dr. Farzam Kamalabadi and the Future Trends Group. we empower nations, organizations, institutions, academies, universities, companies, projects, agencies, and individuals across the world to literally become part of the most important movement ever, writing history and creating the future as real and impactful as it can get. Uplift and transform their reality and enabling them to scale and grow quickly. Our platform offers key transformational processes that unlock limitless potentials and open up new realms of possibilities for growth, success, and the creation of the brightest future.
And then Calibre, the artist, got mentioned about having the very first sound healing music on the moon. That's so cool when you think about sound healing music on the moon. What are they going to think about that? Right? And that was put up there by Calibri and written up in Apple. So music is going to be a big part of the story and continues to be a big part of the story. Now, speaking of music, Pink, Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon, we all know the story. It's just kind of weird that literally where we landed on the moon is literally, if you look at the picture on Scott Page's social media post, it shows you where Scott Page's music has landed, and it's kind of freaky because it's exactly what the song The Dark Side of the Moon. So Scott, Nova Spivic is the scientist and engineer that Elon Musk collaborated with to put something special in the glove box of the Tesla. You know the Tesla car? Remember Elon Musk did one of the greatest publicity stunts in history? He blasted his Tesla car into space on a SpaceX Falcon 9, and then he sent it to orbit the sun. What a lot of people don't realize is that inside the glove box is our business partner, which is Nova Spivic. And you've met Nova, and Brandi's met Nova, and Nadine's met Nova. Other people in our space mission met Nova. Right. Nova's the chief architect of engineering and science and visionary science for this mission. And what's so cool is that Nova, one night at, and nobody's ever heard this story before, one night at 1 o'clock in the morning, I said to Nova, hey, Nova, we're sitting in the house, we're at Art Basel, by the way, a few years ago. I said, Nova, what's in the glove box? What's up in the glove box in the Elon Musk Tesla car? What did you put up there? You go, well, Dallas, nobody knows except for me. And I said, well, can I listen? And he said, sure, come on over. So he let me hear the music. And I said, oh my God, I mean, does anybody know this? He goes, no, let's not tell him yet. And then I said, what do you mean, let's not tell him yet? He goes, yeah, that's part of the fun. Let's have fun with this. Right. And I said, okay, I'm with you 100%. He goes, yeah, that's what you want to do.
Really, this is how the universe works. It conspires, even though we do not understand it. It just does it. I had Frida Kahlo there. We actually dug a brick from underneath the red house. We actually did the Frida Kahlo painting on the rooftop. We did so much that's not public. And it's interesting because we're doing these things behind the scenes knowing that Web3 is going to eventually work out. So here we are, we're revisiting this same Sagamore on this.
It's crazy. And Brandi, they don't know, and we'll just kind of keep humble about it. One of the biggest art collectors in the world bought that painting that was commissioned and done of the Frida Kahlo at the Sagamore Hotel at the Art Basel event. You see, it's just kind of just strange how this all works. The same week that Frida Kahlo set a record in the world at Christie's.
Going on. We can create the metaverse, we can create all these other parallel universes, but here we are. I do want to acknowledge our partners because the LunaPrise Moon Museum is about to open. We are doing a Friends and Family. We'll be doing a Friends and Family on the 18th. So if you're listening and you want to poke holes, give advice, speak into what could work or what's working, what's not working, we welcome you to private message us or speak with Dallas specifically or myself. Because, look, we're perfect and perfect. And we know that this is an evolutionary process. And we also understand that it's moving faster than we can even sleep. People are losing sleep daily so that we can make sure that this happens. So we would like to invite you to our friends and family and know that, you know what, we're in this together. You're part of something great. Your feedback will be welcomed. It looks like Simon says I said Simon says, did I? Sorry, another joke. Bad joke, good joke. It looks like he says he's available to speak. I don't know. Anyways, I see Alt Mom is here. I see a few of our friends are here.
We have people that joined tonight from Indonesia, the hottest growing NFT country and territory in the world. We have literally hundreds and hundreds of people that joined from Indonesia. The Philippines, another incredible community that's growing. South Korea, Vietnam, Malaysia, people come into our X Spaces and say, what are all these people doing from all over the world? You see, people all over the world want to know about what we're doing here, launching Art to the Moon. And they joined up and they're buying up our products and they're getting into our projects. So thank you, everybody that joined from the Philippines, from South Korea. Literally thousands of people that are tied in. You're going to see when we publish tomorrow the results of the people that tuned in. Literally thousands of people have tuned in here tonight to listen to what we're doing. So I love you guys all. This is another beautiful connection. I can't wait to get together in person. And much love to everybody.
Thank you, Dallas.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Miami. Yay. Bye-bye.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Good night.
Much love to everybody. Thank you, everybody. 11-11.